Um, Today we just finished up all of our drywall and our green board. There really wasn't that much relearning, just the same process over and over.
I did make a mistake cutting drywall. I was cutting out a notched piece and I cut out the wrong piece, but it ended up working out. It's fixable. When you start getting to the smaller pieces on your interior drywall, there are going to be times when you can just split up and both be working on cuts, because there are a lot more cuts on this build than any of our other builds. So just work together, communicate, do whatever it takes to make it faster for you guys.
Just the same, just split it up. Maybe like one person can work on all the small stuff while someone's screwing, or maybe two of you can go cut two separate sheets by yourself. And when either one of you gets ready, just let your partner know, and you can go ahead and throw that piece up.
Today, you're going to need a tape measure, your knife, cutting drywall, you need your rasp, PPE for the dust, painter's caulk, oscillator, dozer, your impact, and your drywall square.
Today we're finishing up the rest of our sheetrock inside our tiny home. After that, we're going to go ahead and start putting our first layer of mud on. We're still deciding if we want to run mesh tape on our joints or just put a layer of mud and paper tape, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So today we got all of the closet done. We're cutting this piece right now. Go inside to the bathroom, and everything in here, that's going to be done today, and we're waiting on our green board to hang in the shower. After that, we'll put our windowsills on, tape, and start mudding. Yeah, I just used a 3-inch hole saw and a 1-inch hole saw to make those. Your measurements might not be perfect, but it's okay if you have to run your knife to make it a little bit bigger, because it's all going to be behind a vanity. And with that one down there, it'll be covered by a faceplate for the toilet stub out. So it's not too big of a deal, but you do want to get your outlet box pretty close, just so you avoid all that hot mud.
So I'm working on this washer dryer wall right now. The way I did it is by measuring the center of the dryer vent. From there, from there, I took some of our painter's caulk and put dots around the outlets, up here, around the washer box here, and then down there at the clean out as well. I lifted up the sheet, I tapped it, so now as you can see we have some impressions from the caulking, and I'm just gonna use that as my guide and cut out the rest of these holes.
So when you have any pieces that require like real short cuts, what I like to do is I just find a straight edge, or I'll butt it up to where it's supposed to go, and it's okay if it's longer. Like this is only a 2-inch piece, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I hung this piece, I have it all screwed in, and I'm just going to run my knife across this glue lamp and score it. And then even if there's any deformities in the glue lamp, then it'll kind of like it'll translate onto the drywall. So it's just a way to get more of an accurate cut, and it's really simple, and it saves a lot of time when you go to cut out your pieces. It's coming okay. This one's a little bit harder just because how high it is. And I'm going to do the same with this. Well, with this edge right here, we're actually going to leave it open. We're not going to go ahead and cover it like we would over here. We're going to leave that open because there's a piece of our slider door, which is like a decorative type of wood, and that's what's going to receive the door when it closes. So we need to leave this open, and it fits right up in this little notch. And if we were to put drywall, it wouldn't fit up there, so that's why we had to take it off. Right now we're getting ready to put our moisture resistant board up on the 3 walls of our shower. And after we do that and screw it in, then we'll be ready to start taping and mudding. We're going to use 3 boards, but all we have is 3, so hopefully we don't mess up.
So they were using their T-square and snapping a chalk line across their drywall. So I showed them a little trick. You can take your razor knife and hold it to the edge of your tape. So what we did is he's trying to cut 42 1/4. So we measured from the bottom. So that's 42 1/4. So what we did is we reverse it, and now you got 5 3/4 that's left of the drywall. So instead of trying to cut a big piece, now we're just going to measure out here, and we just slid our knife all the way down to the end, and you can cut a straight line that way, other than trying to chase it with your chalk line or razor and the chalk line. So now you don't have to dig in there. All you have to do is just cut the paper, and then once you cut your paper, the drywall will snap where you need to go. Then you just take your ass, clean it up, and it just makes it easier and cleaner cut. Should have kind of left a tail right there. I mean, you can do a cut piece inside there, but if you cut out that square instead of just. Oh, you reversed your cut.
Yeah.
I gotcha. I mean, just leave it. We'll patch it.
Yeah.
You don't want to set your drywall on your shower pan because it will cause squeaking. You want to have a yeah.
Like when you step on
when you step on it and stuff, it will still move. So what's going to happen is if you're sitting right on top of it, it will squeak. So I did. Ooh, careful of your pan. Don't do that. So you got this piece that's missing out right here. Grab 2 shims, and you can throw your shims underneath there, and that will give you your space in between your. There you go, smart man. Straight up.
Well, we have our first sheet up of our moisture resistant board. Definitely use 2 people though, because it is a little bit heavier. But when you put this in, you want to raise it up above the shower pan about 1/4 of an inch, because if it sits against the shower pan when someone's in there taking a shower, it'll rub on the pan and you'll hear squeaking. So to avoid that, we're just going to raise it up a little bit. We're going to repeat the process on the next 2 walls, and that's basically it. It's just like hanging normal drywall. It's just a little bit more heavy.
Water resistant.
Yeah, to a degree. But after this, we're going to put, there's going to be our tiles on it. There will be another water resistant painting on top of this. So water should not get back there at all.
Went great today. We finished all of our drywall, including our all of our windowsills. We have a few more screws to finish in the bathroom, but besides that, we are pretty much ready to start mudding. I've got another coat of paint on the roof today. It's looking good.
I'm just looking for the pattern. Make sure they're not setting their screws a little too deep, or one of the main problems is they don't get their screws deep enough, but these guys did pretty well setting their screws. They're all pretty flush, pretty decent. The only one of the mistakes that we talked about earlier is this is called your dog leg or leg, and you just typically want to just make that one piece so you don't have that little seam right here. So I mean, it's not a big deal, but you know, if you can avoid having to do a little seam right there, just makes your job a little quicker and a little bit easier. The rest of the drywall looks pretty good. The pocket door right here, you don't want to put any drywall on, because we're going to be adding a piece of wood. Once we get our door installed, the door's going to tuck away inside the wall, but this piece right here, you don't want to put any drywall on it, because we'll be furring that out and it allows to articulate with the wall if it's not plumb. Other than that, job looks pretty good. It looks like they're going to start putting some mud on here pretty soon.